Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Hopefully everybody's doing well today. An American and his Filipina came to the Philippines. And they bought some property. They've been here, I don't know. I think he said 7 months, 9 months. Anyway, they bought some property. Story coming up. American comes here from USA, meets his wonderful fiance. Actually, they get married within a 4-month period. Everything's fine. Then they decide they're going to buy some property. Okay, so they buy some property, and it has house on it. So they buy property that has house on it. As you know, as an American, you can't own any property or anything, but they had it written up that he still, like we did, she has land, he has a house, something happens, they, split it up. But that's not the problem. The problem is this. They already gave the owner the money for the house and the land. Well, they leave and they go to, file some papers and things like that to the attorney's office. And they were at the attorney's office because they had to get it all notarized. Well, apparently somewhere along the lines, she left the paperwork there somewhere. They did the transaction with the money, and she left the papers. Now they can't find the papers. Well, went to the attorney's office, and they're actually looking for the papers also. They're not sure if they just got misplaced or what. I said, well, my first opinion would be, is the attorney okay? It's a reputable attorney, and there has to be some type of copy, just a piece of paper stating that you bought that. Well, they already given the guy the money. So the guy leaves, he has whatever. Well, they go get a copy from the guy, and the guy goes, what copy? Well, the copy of the land I bought. What land? I own the house. Man, you got to be very, 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 very careful here in the Philippines. When you do a transaction that has to do with money, he's sitting there and you're sitting there, and you give him the money and you have the transaction, and then you grab the papers that's making that particular transaction, and you go down to the attorney to have it notarized. A lot of times the people just sign it and then just go down to the attorney's office and have the attorney sometimes is not required for you to be present to do a notary here. It depends. Most of the time, no. I mean, there's many times I was not present, or Ruth was not present. I picked it up. So here's the situation. It looks right now. He spent money on that property, which is a large sum of money, guys. Like a lot. Now they can't find any paperwork. Now, what do you do in that instance? What would be the first thing? Well, you go to the barangay, and well, no, they're out of the picture. So you go to the attorney. Well, do you have a copy of the papers I have? Yeah, here's the piece of paper I notarized. But as far as transactional funds, as far as the money's concerned, you guys did that before I came. Okay, so, all right, I just agreed to something. So where the legalities come into the picture, I don't know. I think it's going to be a situation here. He said, she said. When you're giving someone, it's like here. When I gave the money for the property here, not only did I get a receipt for the funds, I made sure that I always got a piece of paper stating what the amount was, what I paid. Because you take that down to the attorney's office, because he could say that I never did do it. If I lose that piece of paper, I'm dust. Now, what if they lost that piece of paper? Let's say you pay $1.5 million for the land and house. It's not a brand new, but it's nice. He paid $1.5 million for it, that in a property. So $1.5 million, $30,000, gone, blink of an eye. When you're buying something here, I don't care if it's a car, I don't care if it's a boat. I don't care what it is. Make sure you do the transaction. Really, you should do it in the attorney's office. But 99% of the time, you cannot get the attorney's office to do it. Here, let me pick him up here. I got my dog here. He's just biting everything and tearing everything up. That's what he does. That's his job. Tear everything up. Look at him. He knows he's guilty. What did you eat? Don't eat any crap off the ground. Yeah. So they did a transaction. They gave the guy the money to pay for the property. Then they take the papers to go get it notarized because you got to go get the title and the deed. And there's a process. It took us 4.5 years to get the title and deed all squared away, and the property taxes were already paid. Imagine if you buy a piece of property and property taxes aren't paid. Before you buy anything, make sure the guy paid his property taxes first and foremost. If he didn't pay his property taxes, you may be in a dilemma. That has to be paid by him first. Because he could say, well, you have to pay it now because you just made the position. Well, it may not be much, maybe 50, 60, 70 grand, depending if it's on a highway or if it's close to the street or things like that. 56, 70,000 peso is what I meant to say. I think it's a grand. But anyway, $1,000, $2,000. Who wants to throw away $1,000, $2,000? Not me. So, I find it very interesting. Now, is the guy upset? Of course he's upset. 30 grand out the window. She's crying. She's beside herself. She can't see light at the end of the tunnel. She is just beside herself. Not only that, she left her phone. And some other keys and this, that, and other. So they go back to the attorney's office and say, well, I got my phone and this. But they didn't pick up the paperwork. Not thinking. I really don't know. Sometimes the thoughts of people. I make sure before I leave, do you have the keys? Do you have your phone? Not only that, did you get the paperwork? Do we have it all? Just stop a second before we leave. Recently, I had to go get some documents done in CDO. And I go to the attorney's office. It's an American Filipino-American. Lives in Dallas. Mother lives in Dallas. So we're talking this, that, and other. Next thing I know, come to find out, we're talking, long story short, we walk out, and we had no papers. I said, where's the papers? We were only 2 steps out. 2 steps back in, we pick up the papers and go. But he was coming to the door with the papers. But still, it's easily done. Here in the Philippines, you do have to be careful. I say in that instance with her, it's just it's a mistake. It's not always, it's just a mistake, But it still could cost 30, 40 grand. Sorry, oh my goodness. That was Omer saying hi to mommy. So I want to thank everybody for always watching our videos. And thank you so much for coming on our families all the time. God bless everybody and thank you.